Well, here we go.
Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you are across all time zones. Welcome back to Sip and Talk. I'm Joe.
I gotta say, I am in a fantastic mood today.
That is great to hear. You know, I actually have to start with this quick story because it perfectly sets up what we are unpacking today for you all.
Yeah, okay, let's hear it.
So last night, I was sitting at Starbucks with a friend of mine.
Right.
And he is just aggressively stirring the ice in his latte, completely exasperated, just complaining about everyday stuff.
Oh, we all know that feeling.
Right?
Sure.
He's going on about how, U.S. gas prices are creeping up again, how his paycheck feels totally stagnant, inflation, the whole 9 yards.
Yeah, inflation is just brutal right now.
It really is. And I just had to laugh a little and tell him, look, man, everyday problems are annoying, absolutely.
Sure.
But have you ever stopped to think that the real big players in the world, like the autocrats, are stressing over an entirely different dimension of problems?
Wait, what do you mean?
Well, they aren't losing sleep over the price of unleaded gas. They're waking up in cold sweats, figuring out how to keep 1.4 billion people perfectly, unquestioningly obedient.
Wow, that is a wildly hard pivot from the price of a gallon of gas, but you are completely right.
No, it's a lot.
But it is a fundamentally different operating system. So, did your friend spit his coffee out when you said that?
He didn't, thankfully. But he did immediately connect it to the massive, almost cinematic geopolitical news that just dropped out of Taichung, Taiwan.
Oh, right, the Akio Yaida incident.
Exactly.
For our Sip&Talkers who might be catching up, Akio Yaida is a highly respected, very senior media personality and political commentator.
Super well known.
Yeah, and he finishes this speaking event in Taichung, steps outside his hotel, and is just physically assaulted, punched right in the street.
Which is crazy enough, but it gets wilder.
It does. He was hit by a man holding a Hong Kong passport who, as it turns out, has a known triad background.
Right, and this is not just some random bar fight. The mechanics of this are straight out of a Hollywood action thriller.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, the suspect's itinerary was basically a precision strike.
Ew.
He had a flight booked to Korea that was meant to take off within 15 minutes of his planned escape.
Talk about a tight window.
It was a highly calculated hit-and-run operation.
Fortunately, he didn't make it.
No, he didn't.
The Taiwanese police moved with absolutely unbelievable speed. They caught him at the airport instantly.
Just incredible work by them.
Yeah, detained him, held him incommunicado. And this is monumental, because national security analysts are officially categorizing this as the very first physical case of transnational repression on Taiwanese soil since the CCP's new National Solidarity and Progress Promotion Law took effect.
Right. And just to define that for a second for you guys, that law is essentially this recent legal framework designed by Beijing
to basically formally justify extending their domestic suppression tactics beyond their own borders.
Exactly. It completely lays the groundwork to target critics globally.
Now, real quick, before we go down this rabbit hole, let's just set the ground rules for today's discussion.
Always important.
We're here to impartially unpack the geopolitical realities, the mechanics of international law, and global discourse. We aren't taking sides, and we absolutely aren't endorsing hate against any nation or people.
Right, we are just putting the puzzle pieces together and objectively analyzing how authoritarian power actually operates in the real world.
Because independent critical thinking is exactly what Sip and Talk is all about.
Exactly.
So we know it happened physically on that street in Taichung, but Beijing's official reaction to the event is really what turned a localized street brawl into an international geopolitical incident.
Yeah, because Beijing, they just couldn't stay quiet. The Taiwan Affairs Office, or the TAO, released an official statement.
And for anyone not deep in the weeds on this, the TAO is basically Beijing's bureaucratic mouthpiece for handling anything related to Taiwan.
Right, it's their official channel for cross-strait policy.
Yeah.
So the TAO puts out this truly bizarre statement claiming that the attack on this prominent journalist was just a, quote, chance security incident.
Well, chance incident.
Wow. And the specific phrase they used for the attacker's motive was that he was driven by, quote, personal righteous indignation.
Okay, let me just push pause right there.
Go for it.
Because I am really trying to wrap my head around the physics of that statement. How on earth did Beijing know this guy's internal emotional state?
Right.
I mean, the Taiwanese police intercepted him, locked him up, and held him under their Anti-Infiltration Act.
Which, by the way, is a brilliant piece of legislation.
Oh, it really is. It's this legal firewall Taiwan built specifically to stop hostile foreign forces from financing or orchestrating political interference or violence inside their borders.
It allows authorities to completely sever a suspect's communication and funding networks.
Exactly. So this guy had no phone calls, no outside contact, absolutely no lawyers passing coded messages.
It's like they have cross-strait telepathy or something. Right. Is it quantum entanglement? Did his anger just magically transmit across the ocean to a spokesperson's desk in Beijing?
It is absurd. And the contradictions just keep piling up.
Oh, they do.
Because when the suspect was first grabbed by the cops, his immediate defense, his alibi, was mistaken identity. He claimed he hit the wrong guy.
Oh, right.
But then Beijing's official statement comes out claiming righteous indignation. You literally cannot have righteous indignation against someone if you hit them by mistake.
That is such a good point.
By trying to cover for him, Beijing accidentally validated that it was a targeted, premeditated political hit.
It totally reminds me of being back in middle school.
Okay, how so?
Well, imagine a school bully pays a kid from a totally different class to walk over and shove you in the hallway.
Classic bully move.
Right. And you catch the kid.
Yeah.
And suddenly the police principal runs out shouting, "Oh, he just pushed you because he was personally mad at you." It's a total coincidence.
Like, nothing to see here.
Exactly. But then the principal demands, hey, you have to protect his student rights while he's in detention.
That is the perfect analogy. And Beijing's demand for legal rights isn't just hypocritical. It exposes this massive vulnerability in their strategic thinking that the internet immediately picked up on.
Right. Because in that exact same breath, Beijing is furiously demanding that Taiwan protect this suspect's legal and human rights.
Which is just beyond ironic.
It really is. Think about it. Beijing's entire geopolitical stance is that the Taiwanese government is illegitimate.
Right.
But the very moment their alleged proxy gets caught, they formally demand that the Taiwanese judicial system follow the rule of law to protect him.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. By demanding Taiwan exercise its legal frameworks, Beijing is accidentally validating Taiwan's independent judicial sovereignty on the world stage.
You literally cannot make this stuff up.
You really can't.
And when a global superpower makes official statements and policy decisions that seem this illogical, this totally counterproductive to their own international standing, the internet does what the internet does best.
It spawns a meme.
It spawns a meme. Have you seen the chief accelerator theory going around?
Oh, the viral acceleration is a meme. Yes.
It's everywhere right now.
For our Sip&Talkers who aren't familiar, this is a highly satirical theory going around that asks a very simple question.
And it's a hilarious question.
It is. What if the leader of the CCP is actually an undercover agent for the free world?
Right?
What if he is purposefully making these catastrophic decisions to destroy the authoritarian system from the inside by hitting the gas pedal-like, accelerating straight toward the cliff?
It is dark humor at its finest. But, you know, when you look at the actual merits of this joke, it's shocking how well the evidence lines up.
It really is.
Let's just look at the economic self-sabotage for a second. If you were an undercover agent trying to ruin an economy, what would you do?
You'd wipe out entire booming industries overnight.
Which is exactly what happened to their tutoring sector. Just poof, gone by decree.
Gone. And the tech sector, too.
Exactly. I mean, they basically took a sledgehammer to our tech scene. Slip of the tongue there. I mean, their domestic tech scene.
Right.
While Washington is over here aggressively debating how to out-innovate them, passing things like the GPS Act to secure our own semiconductor manufacturing and supply chains.
Their own leadership just steps in and kneecaps their biggest tech giants.
Completely scaring away foreign capital. They literally did our strategic work for us.
They really did. And then you look at their diplomatic strategy.
The infamous wolf warrior diplomacy.
Right. Historically, the best way to weaken the West is to divide us. Make European nations trade with you, peel them away from U.S. influence, keep the Indo-Pacific totally fragmented.
Divide and conquer.
Exactly. But instead, they adopted this incredibly aggressive, abrasive diplomatic tone.
And what was the actual result of that aggression?
Well, it forced us, the U.S., along with NATO, Japan, the Philippines, and Taiwan, into the most unified, cohesive security front we've seen in decades.
They literally united their own opposition.
They did.
And then, internally, you have the massive demographic collapse. You have an environment where the youth are so disillusioned they are just joining the lie flat movement.
No upward mobility at all.
Zero desire to participate in the economic engine. So, looking at all of that, the meme is hilarious. It fits perfectly.
It really does.
But let me play devil's advocate here for a second.
Okay, go ahead.
Are the people in charge actually that clueless? Why would a regime make decisions that so visibly destroy their own national interest? From a basic survival standpoint, that makes zero sense to me.
That is the million-dollar question. And, moving from internet humor to actual political science, the answer is kind of chilling.
Okay, lay it on me.
It's not a conspiracy. It's not an undercover agent. It is simply the true underlying operating system of an authoritarian regime.
Interesting.
We often project our democratic logic onto them, but their system operates backwards compared to ours.
I'm trying to wrap my head around this backwards operation. In a democracy, bad news gets you fired by the voters. Are you saying in this regime, bad news just gets buried before it reaches the top?
Exactly. It starts with what political scientists call the information funnel.
Okay.
Think about how information actually moves. In our system, if a policy is failing, say, inflation is spiking, the media screams about it, the opposition party campaigns on it, and the leader is absolutely forced to hear the bad news.
I can't escape it.
Right. But in an authoritarian system, subordinates survive by doing exactly one thing.
Let me guess. Reporting good news.
And go, reporting good news.
So it's the ultimate echo chamber.
Exactly. Imagine you are a mid-level party official somewhere, and the youth unemployment in your district just hit, say, 25%.
Which is a disaster.
Total disaster. But if you report that accurate number up the chain, you are implicitly telling your boss that the central government's economic policies are a failure.
And you definitely get fired for that.
Or much worse. So you massage the numbers. You change the definition of what it means to be employed.
Wow.
By the time that report reaches the top desk in Beijing, it says youth employment is stabilizing.
So multiply that dynamic by 1,000 provinces and departments.
And the leader becomes entirely trapped in an information cocoon of their own making. They genuinely might believe these aggressive policies are working flawlessly just because the reports on their desks say so.
But surely bankrupting your own country's economy eventually threatens your grip on power, right? How is that a sustainable long-term metric?
Well, that brings us to how they actually measure success.
Okay.
In our democratic system, a leader's KPI, their key performance indicator, is keeping the economy prosperous so people vote for them. But for an authoritarian regime, power is always greater than prosperity.
Power over everything.
Maintaining absolute control is the only KPI that matters. If keeping a grip on power means sacrificing the domestic economy, they will do it.
No hesitation.
None. If it means destroying their international reputation, they will do it without a second thought. The goal isn't a wealthy population. The goal is a controlled population.
Which perfectly explains why loyalty is prioritized over competence.
Exactly.
In our system, you want the absolute smartest, most capable people running the show.
Right.
But in their system, highly capable, innovative people are basically viewed as political threats.
Yeah.
It's like, imagine a CEO of a massive corporation. This CEO looks at his most profitable, successful divisions, realizes the managers of those divisions are becoming really popular with the board and the public, and decides to purposefully bankrupt those divisions just to eliminate the managers.
That is a brilliant way to conceptualize it. It's self-sabotage disguised as self-preservation.
Right.
And this leads us directly to what analysts call bandit logic.
Bandit logic, I like that term.
Yeah, so we sit here in the U.S., or our allies in Europe, and we look at this attack in Taichung and think, wow, how embarrassing for a global superpower to hire a triad member with a drug record to punch a scholar in the street.
Right. It feels so cheap.
It seems so beneath the dignity of a state.
Definitely.
But internally, it isn't seen as shameful at all. Under bandit logic, power is just brute force.
I see.
Using a thug isn't a diplomatic failure. It is viewed internally as a highly successful demonstration of bottom-line thinking.
Just pure intimidation.
Exactly. It's a message that says, we do not play by your civilized rules, and we can reach you absolutely anywhere. It's entirely designed to export intimidation.
So if that is the logic we are dealing with, how do we, meaning the U.S., Taiwan, and our democratic allies across the Indo-Pacific, actually defend against this?
It's tough.
Because this isn't a traditional military threat where you can just park an aircraft carrier off the coast, you know?
No, it's not. This is classic gray zone warfare.
And we use that term a lot on the show, but let's break down how it actually functions mechanically.
Yeah, so gray zone warfare refers to hostile actions that sit right below the threshold of formal armed conflict. You don't send a fighter jet because that triggers a military alliance response. Instead, it's modular, it's cheap, and it's highly deniable.
Deniability is key.
Absolutely. You use cyber attacks, economic coercion, or, in this specific case, a proxy with a criminal background.
To do the dirty work.
Right. When you send a triad member to throw a punch, you are trying to export censorship. You want to create a psychological chilling effect on free speech without leaving a direct paper trail that leads back to the state. It's entirely asymmetric.
But Taiwan didn't just roll over, and I think that's the real strategic takeaway here.
Oh, definitely.
Taiwan's response is the absolute blueprint for how democracies should handle this. They didn't just charge this guy with simple assault like it was a pub brawl.
No, they didn't.
They utilized their Anti-Infiltration Act to detain the suspect and hold him incommunicado.
Which is exactly how you dismantle gray zone warfare. You have to actively raise the legal and criminal costs for foreign proxies. Exactly. If you treat a politically motivated transnational repression attack as a simple bar fight, you are basically incentivizing more of them.
Because the cost of doing business is so low.
Right. But by invoking the Anti-Infiltration Act, Taiwan is sending a massive message to every proxy and triad member out there.
Saying, you will not get bail.
You will not get a quick flight home. You are going straight into the national security legal apparatus.
It also highlights a massive need for our allies to tighten border security.
Oh, absolutely.
We have to get much, much better at vetting individuals with known triad or criminal backgrounds entering democratic nations, especially when there are these geopolitical tensions bubbling just under the surface.
Joe, let me ask you this. Doesn't that mean we are constantly on the back foot?
How so?
Well, with our open borders and free speech, aren't we as democratic societies just doomed to constantly play defense against this kind of modular bandit logic?
You know, I really don't think so.
Why is that?
In fact, if you look at the macro picture, these gray zone tactics frequently backfire. Look at what just happened in Taichung. Beijing tried to create a chilling effect in Taiwan, but instead, they acted as a completely free marketing campaign for Taiwanese resilience.
That is so true.
Every single time they pull a stunt like this, it pushes Taiwan closer to the international community.
It really clarifies the stakes for everyone watching.
Exactly. When Washington or Tokyo or Manila sees a superpower acting like a literal street gang, it hardens our allied resolve.
It wakes everyone up.
It makes it incredibly easy for democratic nations to look at each other and say, okay, we absolutely have to stick together because that is the alternative. It accelerates our cooperation.
Wow. It all comes back to the accelerationism meme, doesn't it?
It really does.
They really are their own worst enemy on the global stage.
They truly are. So as we wrap up this deep dive into the reports today, I want to leave our sip and talkers with a final provocative thought.
Something to mull over with the rest of your coffee.
Exactly. When you look at these massive global systems, our democratic framework versus their authoritarian bandit logic, you have to ask yourself a fundamental philosophical question.
Okay.
Is the purpose of the state to serve the people, or is the purpose of the people to serve the state?
Wow. That is the defining question of our era.
It really is.
And just to reiterate as we close out, our discussion today was an objective analysis of geopolitical mechanics and international law.
Completely.
It was devoid of discrimination against any nation or people. We are just staying true to Sip&Talk's core value. Independent, critical thinking in a complex world.
Beautifully said. And to all our Sip&Talkers out there, thank you so much for joining us on this journey. Don't forget to subscribe to Sip&Talk so you never miss a show.
And we also want to give a massive warm shout out to our good friend Mickey. He just dropped a brand new video, so please go check out the latest travel vlog on his YouTube channel, Mickey to Life.
You definitely want to check his channel out. He does amazing work. All right, everyone, stay curious, keep thinking critically, and we will see you next time.
See you next time.